situation, and particularly more so when the operations going on there are not led by the police. I think this is a question that perhaps should be appropriately answered by either the National Security Advisor or the Chief of Defense Staff.
Does it suggest that there's a lack of collaboration between the police and other security agencies? Because one is wondering, why should it be just the NSA that should be privy to the situation in the Northeast?
No, not at all. I told you there are joint operations. There are several operations going on. When we are conducting joint operations, of course, the police is deeply involved. And let me be frank with you, policemen of the mobile police, of the anti-terrorists, in hundreds, in fact, in thousands, involved along with the military, just like you have the joint, the JTF in the Niger Delta, you have the special task force in Plateau. So also there are joint operations going on in the Northeast involving the police, particularly the mobile police and the anti-terrorist units.
No, my question is predicated on the fact that I'm just wondering why the National Security Advisor should be the only one that should have monopoly on the security situation.
I never said only the NSA. I told you the Chief of Defense Staff can also be in a better position. You know, you asked me whether I'm in a position to advise the President about the Northeast, the conduct of election in the Northeast. And what I'm telling you, since the police is not leading the operations there,
are you suggesting that you cannot make your recommendations to Mr. President on the situation? If polls should go on.
Oh, certainly I'm a member of the National Security Council, remember, and there is no way such a matter can be discussed and the police or the Inspector General of Police will not make contributions. Let me be frank with you. If for any reason it requires joint decision, I tell you the police will be part of it. But if you are asking the Inspector General of Police whether I will advise the President on whether to conduct elections in those areas or not, certainly I will not take the lead in even that advice, even though I have my own contributions to make.
Regarding the situation in the Northeast, there are fears that civilians might be brought the arms way concerning the insurgency in this area.
Our main problem in the Northeast has been compounded certainly by the ease with which arms are moved, not only within the area but also from across the borders. Remember, I have served in Maiduguri far back, 1987. And I recall as far back as that time, across the borders, we used to have, violent criminals coming in, but mainly, as cattle rustlers and so on. But I think with what happened in the Middle East and part of North Africa, particularly Libya and so on, and Mali, seem to have compounded, the movement of this time around, not only small arms, but quite heavy arms into Nigeria. And unfortunately, that has compounded the situation in the Northeast. But even at that, the police is still, like I told you, being involved in the operations, has been involved also in the mop-up of arms. We've made remarkable recoveries, either from the insurgents themselves, particularly those who are either running away or returning back into the communities, and the police get the information, or through our other intelligence network we get to hear, we effect arrests and we make recoveries. And I must tell you, quite a reasonable number of arms have been recovered.
In discharging your role as the police IGP, what is your first point of responsibility? Is it to Mr. President or to the Nigerian states?
Well, I would prefer to say my first allegiance is, of course, to the state and the Constitution, which guides the state. That's my first allegiance. Yeah, but don't forget, the President is an elected president to lead the country. He's also the chairman of the police council. So there should be a lot, and I mean a lot, of allegiance, or I would say obedience to the leader.
The Nigerian police has been accused of being partisan. What do you have to say regarding this?
The society that the police, or the public that the police is protecting or is policing, is not one. It's a public with different values, with different beliefs, with different ideas. And so there you are. Some of the actions we take, of course, some people will say it is partisan. But there are also others who will say they have done the right thing. They are doing very well. That is how to go about it. But coming back to the point, the police is non-partisan. The police leadership at my own time has done a lot to guide its officers on the need, on the importance of doing whatever is necessary to contribute to the development of democracy in this country. And the conduct of elections is one of the most important aspects of, the sustenance of democracy. And that is why in preparing our personnel, we make sure that we guide them on how important it is to be professional in their action, to be accessible to members of the public, to be humane, and to be guided by the provisions of the law.
Now, issues of
so the issue of the police being partisan, I think in my own time, every effort that needs to be done is being done to make sure that the policemen are not.
Issues have been raised concerning the redeployment of AIG Umbu to Lagos. Now, regarding his antecedents in Rivers State, some people are of the opinion that this is politically motivated. What do you think?
I don't understand. Was his deployment to Zone 7 for political reasons? Then, if his deployment from Rivers to Zone 7, Abuja, which comprised of FCT, Kaduna, and Niger, was not for political reasons, why should his deployment to Lagos be seen to be for political reasons? Our deployments are routine. They are mainly, Lagos is very, very important to this country. Particularly, it leads in the commercial activities of this country. Policing, remember I was in Lagos. I was a commissioner of police in Lagos. For good 6 weeks, I was commissioner of police, and I saw the provision of security in the conduct of 2011 elections. It has the highest number of manpower amongst all commands in the Nigeria police. And if you feel that it requires someone that can reposition particularly the attitude of the police officers to their work, then you look for someone who can do it better.
Just to mention that our conversation deliberately did not touch on the IGP's encounter with the Speaker of the Federal House of Representatives because it says the case has been settled and he would not want to heat up the polity. You may send us your comments on our various social media platforms shown on your screen. When we return, APC National Vice Chairman, Northeast, Babachi Lawal, accuses the Nigerian military of pretext and the fight against insurgency. Join us again.